Have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast, and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got Startup on the Blocks. So I need you to start coming to Startup on the Blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive. And so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the lean startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of like that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. All the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America, we do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally. And we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow, send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard. And Lloyd is here, he's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Startup on the Blocks. How's everybody doing out there? Please put in the chat and say hello and everything. Hey, Quinn, how are you?
I'm all right, how are you?
Good, good, good. So we got to talk about what happened the past 3 days down in Tampa and how much fun we had. So I thought it'd be great that, if you could come on and help, share with the audience some of the just to make sure everybody's familiar with what it's like to be at a startup event. Yeah. So first, I want to give some shout outs to our sponsors of the Startup on the Block program. And of course, with Florida Power and Light, they help sponsor, our training programs, and they're also coming on board at a much higher rate this year. So to support founders all across Florida. And so there'll be a bunch of pitch competitions, a bunch of 30-day sessions. And we've also partnered with Blacks in Technology with their foundation to provide the training to their 25,000 members, the ones that want to take advantage of it. And so that's a pretty neat situation. So, and what excites me about both Florida Power and Light and the BIT Foundation is they want to make this training accessible to Black founders. And so that's a really neat thing. Don't you think so, Quinn?
Yeah. I mean, as I've been developing, I'm excited that everybody's now catching wind of what's going on here in Pensacola, as well as with Startup on the Blocks.
Yes. And so, and I want to give a shout out to Resident Bank. They're coming on as a sponsor this year, and the First Bank they're coming back on again this year to kind of help out, and it's free. They've always been there supporting us, with funding for pitch competitions. So it's literally all about training the founders and connecting them to opportunities to get funding for their business idea, no matter which stage they're at. So we also have Bantucola as our streaming partner. So we've been broadcasting, to a lot of different social media channels, and both chambers are supporting us. And I guess that's your full-time job with the Pensacola Chamber. So they've been one of our partners too from the very, very, very beginning. CoLab, they're part of the local ecosystem here in the Small Business Development Center. So we all support each other and help each other move forward. And then Startup Science, we're really excited about what they have to offer. And I guess you, Quinn, you had a taste of some of the training that they developed as well.
Yeah, it's so Startup Science is also another big help just to get your mindset right on how you are planning to exit your company. So it actually gives you the bigger picture. It gets you to start thinking long term rather than what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
work you back. That's another offer and the lean stack methodology.
Yes, that's exactly right. So let's so you have your startup, the Know. Why don't you go ahead and do a little short spiel about your company so people can get to know the Know.
Yeah, so the Know is a platform that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. What we're doing specifically is automated booking and logistics, making it easier for everyday individuals to book.
Is that me having a little problem there, or is that your internet a little slow there? Yeah.
Clear. You can hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you now. I better check my internet speed here because, yeah, it sounded like you were breaking up a little bit.
Yeah. Did everybody else hear it?
All right, I believe so. Lloyd Jr., if you're still on, can you verify that you're hearing everybody really well? Oh, so it says slow on his end as well. So let me just check my speed real quick and may have to switch over to another link here. But go ahead and keep going there to see how good you're coming in.
Yeah, so the Know is created to.
So Quinn, he's saying your speed is acting up a little bit. Can you make sure all you got closed down most of your windows there?
Yep. Let me.
And Vercel says he hear everybody just fine. So so yeah, we'll get it out. I'll figure it out. Yeah, it looks like my internet connection is looking decent. Yes, but yeah. So you
All right.
Go ahead.
I'll say it again.
Yes.
Streamline business for the entertainment industry. Specifically, what we're doing is automating booking and logistics for in the local area. So you can find that entertainer that you need, whether it's a speaker, DJ, performer, in your local area. You can narrow it down based on geographic location, price, your budget that you're looking for, as well as a type of entertainer. And what we do is we mitigate that transaction so that we make sure everybody gets their services as well as the entertainment. And that's what the Know does in a nutshell.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. So I'll keep going here. So when you see this chart here, Quinn, it talks about the mindset and the skills and best practice and the ecosystem. What's your interpretation? What I'm trying to point across here.
Yeah, so pretty much, pretty much making sure that you understand, kind of unlearning some of the old ways of doing things, and then working on the best practices, which is the skill and practices there, and then actually getting you introduced into the ecosystem. So skills and practices, whether it's through the or getting to see library and some of the other resources out there. One of the good ways you can do it is by Lloyd normally includes a lot of that information in the newsletter, and then from there you can kind of explore the ecosystem from there. Once you start going down that rabbit hole, you'll find out everything else that's out there and available to you.
Yes. So so you definitely got to learn some skills and do the best practices. So in your case, one of the best practices is getting out there, being seen. And so what difference has that made for your startup?
It's been big. I mean, even from the local area to now, just the Synapse conference, which had over 5,000 people in attendance, including founders and investors. So I had the opportunity to participate last year and was able to make some pretty good connections at that point. That was my first conference. Time at the conference and having to say on a continuous basis. So you tend to develop that muscle pretty quick. And then I was able to then take some of the resources and connections that I made during that time and then kind of capitalize on that and understanding of the tech ecosystem. So when I was able to participate this year, I was able to see some of the people I met last year, and I was able to see some of the growth that I've had over the year. Well, over the year, from where I started and then where I'm at now. So it was really cool to be able to kind of touch base with everyone and see how everybody and be able to explain creating and what I'm doing at this.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the idea of some of the best practices. And so let me flip down here a little bit, and I kind of wanted to. So this is kind of the playbook here, and the mindset is the first step in the playbook. For being a founder, you have to develop that mindset. And so this is like a 25-minute recording. It tells you the whole idea about being a founder, so you can at least get some idea of what the journey is going to be like. And so what you were just talking about, Quinn, is this number 4. This site right here, f6s.com. It actually is where you can post a lot of the stuff you're doing. So like the stuff you did the last couple of days, you can post in your profile there that I was at the SynapConf, show some pictures or whatever, and you get some visibility from that, and then so you, like you said, you was at a certain stage last year, you at a different stage this year. So now the people that you saw last year, they see your progress. And so that's basically what you were saying. So that gives you credibility. You're still at it. You made some progress. And then so that's what the ecosystem, you have to be a known in the ecosystem to actually take advantage of the opportunities in the ecosystem. Did you hear about any opportunities that based on your startup?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Did you come across any potential opportunities based on your startup at the Synapse conference?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting ready to, well, I guess the applications are open now for FPL's 35 mules at this point. So I was able to actually meet and what I'm working on. By being in the room, you're able to at least let them put a face to the application as you're submitting your applications. So that's one at least be able to read or let alone meet them face to face in some way or another.
Yes, gotcha. So that's all this slide is trying to say is you're here and you need to develop a mindset. But if you want to be able to take advantage of the ecosystem out here, you have to learn the skills and best practices, and in order to get the rewards that's in the ecosystem. And part of the mindset is knowing the stages of your journey. You're going to come up with an idea, you're going to turn it into a concept, and you're going to just keep progressing. And all these early stages, all the way, you still may have a full-time job until you get to this scaling thing where you have a product market fit. And so you're working on your idea part-time, and then just moving right along the journey there. And look here, it says lean startup methodology. And startup science, same idea. You're visioning, you're building your product, going to market, you're standardizing all your business processes, optimizing the processes, and so you can grow and get to the point where you can actually sell your company. Yep. And so and then this Lean Stack entrepreneur journey, it talks about your journey as a founder in a slightly different way. and the way it's talking about it is that you need to pitch your idea clearly and concisely. So in order to do that, you have to have the foundations of being a founder. You have to have a business model. So you have to design your business model, because that's what you pitch. You don't pitch your product or service. You pitch how you make money with your product or service. And that's what it's saying at the very beginning. And so this is kind of like a financial curve. As you go through all these phases, your business startup starts making money, and that's what that's all about. You don't want to be out there wandering like this and just trying to figure out what happens. And Quinn, did you any founders come up and talk to you?
Just want to know more about about what they're working on. And as you have those conversations, you start to find some type of synergy, and you never know how you can kind of cross market, or let alone collaborate in order to, further your product or further their product. That's one thing I would say about the synapses. Everybody was very and you'll find that a lot in amongst our community.
Okay. Yes. So the journey of a founder, and this is the money curve, the growth curve, and is saying what you're trying to do is even though it's complicated, being a founder, there's a lot of mazes and stuff you have to go through, but you can get through it. It's when you follow the methodology and the best practices. And the whole thing is you want to get through all these phases and without running out of money, and to get to this product market fit so you can actually scale. Yeah. And so that's what the playbook is all about. And this is just some simple things you can do to stay on track and start getting opportunities. So the thing we were talking about on the way back, Quinn, was that all those, did you meet any investors down there?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to meet quite a few investors during that time, and be able to get feedback live from them, as well as some, that's just another part in taking advantage of some of the resources and participating in the ecosystem.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's yeah, that's the deal is. And so the importance of making these connections, you mentioned it, with Danielle in the 35 News. So when you put in your application, well, Danielle said, yeah, I met Quinn, at Synapse. And so I'm familiar with what he's actually trying to do. But if she had never met you and you put in your application, who is the no? Who is Quinn? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And then if they start looking over the internet and seeing what you've been doing, if they don't see anything you've been doing, you don't have any credibility.
Right. Marketing and branding is a key, especially over communicating what you're trying to do.
Yeah. So there is another application that's going to open up at the end of the month. Is the Google for Black Founders. And so that's $100,000 cash, $100,000 in cloud service without taking any equity. So one of the things that that program does, and for the first time this past week, I got a chance to listen to some founders that have been through the program and just learn about what that program is all about. And the reason why they call it Ask Me Anything. But it's like office hours, and where if somebody's got a program, you can log into the office hours of the Ask Me Anything session, and then you can learn what they're looking for. So I actually got an email from them since I logged in, and they sent me a cheat sheet for filling out the application.
Nice.
You see what I'm saying? and then they say, well, you can go ahead and apply early while everybody else has got to wait till after the application open.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and then you go in and get that early feedback.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what the purpose of one of the best practices is tending office hours that they have for all these programs, so you can actually learn about them and put in and they be ready when you put in your application. And so the other thing that they did was they had 4 founders that had went through the program, and so they shared their experiences as well. Yeah. So you've been on a journey a little while now, Quinn. So how would you characterize your experiences on this journey?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a straight path. I mean, even though there's a map out there, but you run into road. I mean, when I went last year, I didn't even. I just had my screens, but this year I've launched my beta test as of last week. Now I have 50 subscribers that we're now working to onboard to the beta test. And then still constantly having these conversations with our youth where then how work can benefit them. So just constantly over communicating that. I know one of the hardest things I had to, I guess, deal with coming into it is more so just not being a non-technical founder, having to get my process of getting the platform. So is currently out, but still, continue to iterate as we move forward. But it's always having the conversations.
So you're getting the Amber Alert too, huh?
Yeah, they should have a team with me as I went to the Synapse, which also helped with everything. Last year it was just me by myself. This year I was able to have 2 more that joined the No team, just to kind of help with the brand awareness and just continue.
Okay. Yeah, and so when people come up to your booth and they see a team of people there, that's actually a good impression.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
hopefully, as we continue to go to some of these other conferences that are coming up, it just gets better.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you mentioned the fact that you're a non-technical founder. What are some of the things you learned down there about that, and some of the things that are going on related to that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of non-technical co-founders out there, so there's a lot of different meetup and networks that you can start joining by being a non-technical co-founder. There's developers that have their own different meetups and for a new project. And by being able to get into those networks, you're able to then position yourself to be more of an asset in some ways or another to the developers. So they're able to kind of jump on and kind of help you being a non-technical co-founder. They may be able to come on as a CTO. So that's what I picked up while I was down there. So I was able to meet a couple of people in different networks. So just all about follow-up conversations. It's all about the follow-up.
Yes. Yeah, definitely got to do that follow-up. I definitely got an email from one of the companies that wanted to partner with the Kukua Institute to help us support founders that way as well. But as far as the co-founder thing, I was at one of the sessions, and this gentleman, I got a chance to speak to him afterwards, and turns out he was a software engineer. He had just left a company, and he was out there marketing himself as a part-time CTO. That's what he wanted to do. So I'll reach out to him and so and make sure that give him opportunity to meet some of our founders that might be still looking for a co-founder as well. I'll hook him up with you as well. But didn't you meet Chris too?
Chris, yeah. So they got their own incubator down in the Tampa area. They actually got like a 5,000 square foot. Some of our local founders, as well as their own, to deploy out into the tech ecosystem, for them to go out and be engineers and join as a technical co-founder. So it is a lot of resources out there. Chris, insight and as well as offer resources as well. So again, it's just the ecosystem. When you're in it, you're able to.
We're able to meet people. That can help you out. And so there is another company that wanted to partner with us that provide those software development services, in exchange for equity in your company. So to support founders in their journey. So there's all types of options out there, but you have to be out there and meet people, to kind of realize what the opportunities that are available. And my plan is to get some of those folks on the program. So you all can actually meet them, and try to leverage their services and everything. So folks in the audience, if you got any questions, feel free to chime in. We'd be glad to answer any question about the event. So it was pretty amazing for me being in the ecosystem, so it's kind of a neat thing to go to an event and you start chatting with people and you find out that there's a lot of opportunities out there, and you also find out you can share information that can actually help founders and to kind of move forward, because there's a lot of resources out there. It's just a matter of being aware of them and learning how to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. So you spent a lot of time in the VIP networking session. What was the significance of that?
Well, besides the free drinks, I mean, but no, that's where actually I did a lot of the networking. I was able to make those contacts with Skyway Capital, and just validating and continue to have a conversation on how either I can position my company to be better for when I do go out and seek capital. So just really just diving in and having those conversations. I see Patrice.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it in there for you. I apologize. I had looked up and that's it.
So Patrice, to answer your question, if I take that you may be a voiceover actor or you do recording, so the type of services, so much on custom service. So if you offer that service, you're able to set your price, your fee for that, and your hours of operation. So they'll be able to book you directly from the platform, and they'll be able to book you directly from the platform. Once they pay, you deliver your services, then we actually pay you out right after.
So
for him to use use the platform to be able to do a lot of parents out there that have talented kids that will love their kids, that have the opportunity to be booked in some way or another. This is a platform that would be able to help the parents more so manage their kids. So I've managed artists, put together bands, that there was some gaps in the industry. That so other industries have different platforms that actually make it easier for that professional to do their job. I realize that the entertainment industry doesn't have as many platforms, let alone platforms that are use it and get going. So the development process when creating this application to make it easier for anybody to use and for anybody to more so manage their self and create that awareness for them.
So is she asking for something for her son that's doing the voiceover, or is she doing the voiceover?
She is saying she does search for son.
She does voiceover, or does her
No,
son does?
her son does the voiceover. She was looking for opportunities for her son.
Okay, gotcha.
So this would be a platform that she'll be able to kind of use that for.
Okay. I will mention. I'll put this in the chat there. So like the voiceover stuff is pretty. There's a lot of trying to think. So like all the books, the audio books, there's voiceovers there, and I put that descript.com in there so you can automate your voiceovers. So that with that software, you can use AI to clone your voice, and then you can. So that, like for example, that software it has where people that have recorded their voice in AI, and AI has recreated their voice, then you can paste words and it'll read it in that person's voice. So that's another way you can scale your voice over thing. You can license your voice to kind of move the needle there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your
question. So you want to tackle that one, or do you want me to tackle it?
You ask some questions. Just specifically, what service you include and excluded. So I didn't exclude any services. So when you look at the entertainment industry, I'm looking at the entertainment industry as a whole. So if you're a band and you have different members, whether it's a piano player, you can find a piano player that offers specific services, whether they want to be booked on their own. If you're a speaker, you can set your services up to be booked. If you're a producer and if you offer certain production, then you can do that as well. Or if you're an engineer, you can find those in the know. So everybody's not scouring the internet trying to find these specific people. You'll be able to find them all in one location. At one point in time, the entertainment industry was more so of a taboo industry, the way I felt. A lot of people didn't really talk about how to get into it, where to get into it. A lot of people sometimes just kind of fall or whatever may have been. So once you're in the know, you kind of know the players that's in the game, and you'll be able to go ahead and network and be able to book and create your own team within the know.
Yeah, so like you just made me think of something, Quinn. So like with the voiceover thing, there's also these MCs out there, that actually, can be at an event and actually be the MC for an event. So
Exactly.
they can also list their services on there as well, right?
Right, exactly. So I didn't limit it to what services we offer. It's limited to the actual entertainer, what service they offer. So you can create your own services within the platform and make your own pricing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's yeah, those are some really good questions. And so with me, you know, when I see founders and startups that create these products and services, and there's so many use cases, but it's hard for the founder to kind of communicate all the use cases. You know,
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it, Patrice. And that's the goal, is to go.
yes, yes.
But yes, so it picks up globally sooner than later, all open to it. So thank you.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, definitely appreciate all the questions because and that's what we're actually here for, to help founders and answer their questions, and so you don't have to be out there wondering, right, Quinn?
I'm always
Yeah,
looking for any feedback for those who are in the entertainment industry that would like to provide feedback or have some ideas. You know, I'm always open to hear them out and see what it is, some of the pain points that they're going through, and see where we can help out in that area.
yes, yes, and so yeah, so there's so many things happening at that event. It's just kind of hard to back up and just all the experiences. So when we first, you know, got, so I remember when we first got there and we went up to start loading our stuff. As soon as we got on the elevator, people said, some guy recognized you, right?
Oh yeah, that surprised me a little bit myself, but yeah, he recognized the brand. I guess it might have been either from last year or something I had submitted to the Synapse Summit itself. So it lets me know that the brand at least is recognizable when they see it on the chest.
Yeah, that's pretty. But you had put in an application as well.
Yeah, so I applied one for the 150, and then they had another one for
So did you notice anything hard about the questions they were asking?
on the pitch competition. No, it seems like after going through a couple of the programs, so I was able to go through a couple of programs outside of Startup on the Blocks through the Generator program, and then being able just to apply for some of the opportunities you list in your emails, much all the same. So yeah, no, the questions weren't hard. It's just, you know, being able to articulate, like you would say, what you're doing and kind of how you make the money.
Yeah. So when you fill in an application, do you feel you're actually pitching your company? What is it like to fill out an application? You know, do you actually realize you're actually pitching your company?
Yeah, you're pitching it. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you're talking everything from what I just went over at the beginning, pretty much who's your market, how big is your market, what are you trying to do, and how can you grow it? What links that kind of helps you do, and as you know, plug and play.
Gotcha. Yeah. But yeah, so that's really important. So like, any other things happen that you want to share, you know, from the event?
It was a lot, but I mean, the biggest part is just being in the room with all the founders and the energy. You know, you can get out. Sometimes you can, I guess, pigeonhole yourself outside of the ecosystem in some way or another when you just focused in on what you're building and be able to plug in with other founders and see what opportunities are, what other opportunities are out there, and opportunities, whether it's to collaborate whether it's pitch competition opportunities or grant opportunities. You're able just to see what's out there, and then it kind of opens you up to other possibilities and concepts that you can.
Okay. Did you learn something from all the founders you met? And so, what did you think about the way they were pitching their idea when you met them? Did you learn anything, or you from that?
Yeah, I mean, just so I met a founder, Demetrius Gray. I met him during the VIP reception. So randomly he came, you know, how's he doing and what does he do? And he pretty much told me exactly what he does, and he asked me the same question. So lo and behold, he's a second or third time founder, so he's been in the the industry for quite some time. So my idea, I was able to get some feedback just getting to how do you make money quicker in some ways or another was pretty much the feedback I was given. Idea was great, but I thought we were just having a regular conversation. But you know, in the midst of us having this conversation, he was like, you know, everything is a pitch. You know, at the end of the day, you know, people want to hear you the whole thing within that short period of time. So always be pitching is what.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's exactly right. So, like, at the VIP reception, I met this founder, Philip, and you could tell he had something going on there, and so the first day, you know, he didn't know me and I didn't know him, but as soon as we started talking, Danielle walked up and Kelly walked up and they were all excited to see us, and he was like shocked. You know, how does this guy know these people? You know.
Yeah. It's always good to see. We had quite a few people from Pensacola in the area.
Yeah, yeah,
Down in Tampa. Kelly Reeser with Tech Farms
yes,
Capital. So it was good to see her there as well.
yeah,
Mike Ellicott.
yeah, yeah. Mike, I forgot about Mike. Yeah, Mike was there,
Yep.
and yeah, what's his name?
Oh, we had Ben with Sovereign Ships.
Yeah, sovereign ships. Yeah, so that was pretty neat. So I was actually talking to Philip and getting to know him, and he says, he said, yeah, we haven't launched yet, but we've raised like $900,000, and so he hasn't started making money, but they raised 900,000 from friends and family. So I thought that was kind of neat.
That was cool.
Yeah, and so I said, well, so what platform do you all build your software on? And he said AWS, and then so I asked him. I said, well, how many credits you have with AWS to host your stuff out there so you don't have to spend your own money? And he said, like we have like $7,000 in credits. And so I told him about F6S, and you can get another $25,000 in credit. And so he said, let me write that down, and it's giving the stuff that out there that people don't really know about that they can actually leverage to kind of move forward. Yeah. And so
opportunities out there when you join these different incubators. And when you're having conversations with the right people, they're just willing to more so give you the information. So yeah,
right. Yeah. And so there's a lot of opportunities to learn because there's a lot of, like people or mentors attend these events, founders attend these events, people that have training program, organizations that having training programs attend the events, investors attend the event. So did you meet any companies that you can partner with to help you with what you're doing?
Yeah, I actually was talking to someone as I was walking out. Found out she has a record label herself, and they want to use the platform, or at least interested in seeing how they can utilize it.
Mm-hmm.
Because because last year I met someone who also had a record label. So you just never know who's in the room or who's in the building. So that's why it's always best to continue to have a conversation or continue to pitch.
Yes, that's exactly right. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities through partnerships to kind of move things forward. It's just pretty exciting. So our job with the Startup on the Blocks program is to help founders learn the best practices for building a startup and connect them to opportunities that they can move forward with. And so that's basically what our mission is to make sure, you know, especially Black founders know the best practices so they can actually grow their startup a lot faster.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, you know, what our job is. And so like the training that we offer, typically you wouldn't get the training unless you got into an accelerator program or a pre-accelerator program. So and it's hard to get into these programs. And so what our job is to make this training accessible to you, so you don't have to be out there in the dark. You can learn what this stuff is all about. How big an impact did the Startup Science pre-accelerator program have on what you're doing?
It was a big impact because some of the things but then going through the Startup Science actually brought it all full circle. So like I said before, it just kind of stacks on top of what Startup on the Blocks is doing, but it gives you that forethought of what you need to do now in order to get to that end goal. So it allows you the freedom to think in the big, can make incremental steps to get to that overall outcome.
Yes. And I think, you know, so so through the ecosystem, we got connected to that program, and they liked what we were doing. And so and having access to that type of training is invaluable. So in our partnership with Blacks in Technology, this week we have four people going through the coaches training to get certified as a coach. And one of the ladies was saying, you know, she's been searching for something like this for years, and the thought of making all this training available to the folks in Blacks in tech is really amazing. You know, so and the bottom line is getting the foundation through going through these training programs. It actually, you know, make your journey a lot smoother. You learn all the terms and how to communicate with the programs. And so when you filling out an application to get in a program, you know how to articulate what the deal is. And so that makes all the difference in the world, you know, for making progress with your startup.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, things change on, I get explain what you do, like what you do kind of will adapt, you know, as you grow. Because that's something I had to kind of learn to do over the course of time, is more so how can I say what I do in a short amount of time without giving too much or too little. And that was the hardest thing for me. It's like, well, I don't think I said everything, but then sometimes
it's a matter of, it's a matter of, see, like literally you can communicate enough information about your startup in less than 90 seconds, or in 3 minutes. You can literally, you can people can understand it as enough to say this is something that, you know, that can work.
Right.
So, but you have to learn the right things to say and to bring all the pieces together. And so, like, one of the experiences I had, the last guy I was talking to before we left the after party, you know, he said, I've created this idea for a business, and he actually got selected to be one of the folks that pitched, but he didn't win. And so he articulated his idea, and I said, well, where are you at now with it? And he said, well, I'm at the point where I need to raise some money. But he said, I don't have a clue how to raise it. I don't know what to do.
Right.
And so you have to admit where you are in order to get the help to get to the next step. That's kind of what the point is. Because if people don't know where you are, how are they going to help you get to the next step? You know, it's literally that simple.
And it's done. I mean, it's early and trying to recover and keep it moving forward. I mean, it is a long road travel, but I mean, it's worth it once you in it and make it happen.
So like, just think about, so when you're pitching and you're talking to having these conversations, I know some questions to ask, but just think about it. You know, like when you're meeting people and talking to them, you say, well, we're at this point, and now we're doing this, and this is, you know, where we're headed at, so people have a clear understanding of what where you're going and where you're headed. And so, like, if they see you 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and you made it to the next step, you just got more credibility than you ever could imagine.
Yeah.
And so these people, they can actually, if they hear about a program, they can refer you to that program. Yeah. So that's kind of what the way you. So if you be out there long enough, it actually makes sense, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's all coming full circle as of now.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And because there are a lot of people out there that know what to do, but they have to know where you are and where you're headed in order to kind of help you get to the next step. And literally with our Startup on the Blocks program, folks are saying they're literally happy that we're actually teaching the basics, because all the programs, they assume you already know these things.
Yeah.
And if you don't know them, you just don't know them. And myself, when I took the Lean Startup Coaches training a year ago, I saw immediately how many mistakes I was making. and over the past 6 or 7 years, and it was so refreshing and rewarding to say, this is what I did wrong, or this is what I did right, and now you can actually share that information with other people that's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we're probably gonna wrap up a little earlier tonight, so I don't have a problem with that after being on the road for 3 days. Yes, and Quinn, this platform, it actually records your stuff locally. So like it makes a recording locally. So if it was choppy or whatever, that local recording that is made, but you have to stay logged into the software until it actually finishes uploading the local recording. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to tell the person last week, and that's a new feature that they have. Is it doesn't really matter what your internet connection is. It'll actually record everything you say locally in your video and then upload it to the platform.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of good. So did you have fun down there at the conference?
Yeah. Overall, it was fun. I mean, it's always fun to meet new people, see new things, and on.
Yeah. And so what does it feel like to get all that feedback about what you're doing and the progress you're making with what you're doing?
Say that again, Lord. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So how does it feel to get out to attend the conference? You know, get the exposure, get the feedback from the people you're talking to, and you know, how does it make you feel on as a part of your journey?
Yeah, I mean, it's refreshing. I mean, it lets you know that you're on the right path. I mean, you know, sometimes it does get hard along the journey, and to hear, you know, good feedback, bad feedback, and what you can do better. I mean, it all has a reason in play.
Yeah. So last chance for everybody out there to ask any questions. We're going to sign off a little early and keep playing catch up and try to keep working to get you all connected with the resources. So definitely take a look at our Founders Opportunity database. And you can see it on the newsletter. And just click those links and see what things are open. Now there's just so many things that are out there, and so we partner with another organization, and so we have a gentleman that's updating the database on a regular basis, and so you can definitely be aware. There was a email I forwarded to him today. Verizon, they're offering some free training, you know, to help, you know, startup founders move forward. So there's definitely no shortage of organizations out there trying to help. So you all get ready. If you're here in Florida, Florida Power and Light has this $30 million program to support Black founders in Florida. So literally what it means is, you know, you can participate in that program, you know, our training programs, and then there's going to be some pitch competition money at the end. And also, you know, I was talking to Heather with Florida Power and Light that manages that program, and I told her we're also going to be offering the training to get the small entrepreneurship and small business certification, and she's going to support us doing that. And so there's going to be a lot of opportunities out there. We're partnering with another organization that's going to provide us some workers and pay their salaries, and they can do work to help us build up our program up, and they can do work to help, you know, you all as well. So we're trying to do all the right partnerships to help you all build capacity, to build what you're trying to build, and to get the help you need. And so one of the clear things that is clear to me is, like, I tell, and Quinn, you were in the meeting back with Rodney, and we were down there doing the thing down at the SCI, and Rodney brought up the statistics from the Small Business Development Center for their customers in 2021, and they categorized the minorities and women and the white male companies there were doing it. And the bottom line was that minority, mostly Black businesses were funded at 10% of the rate that, you know, white businesses are. So do the math. If you're funded at 10%, where's your money to hire somebody? Right. Where's your money to buy the software you need? Where is it? You know, it's not there because you don't have and so how can you ever get the capacity to build what you're trying to build, or, you know, to get a contract and actually perform on the contract? So that's what our dilemma is. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to come up with strategies and programs to if we can't give you money, or we'll give you, you know, let some workers work on your project, or we'll host a pitch competition to help you raise money, or we will connect you with all these opportunities that provide funding. So that's what we're trying to do, trying to give you an opportunity to get some capacity so you can provide your product or service. And so that's what we're here for, to support you in that area. Yes. So looks like we have a how you pronounce that? Deonka? Yeah, I got email from Deonka. Okay. Yeah, there is a replay. So for the video, so if you start up on the Block's Facebook page, it's streaming live there. You can do it. Bantucola is streaming live there. You can. It's on YouTube, LinkedIn. You can watch it there. And so yeah, so there's a lot of places to really to actually get the information. So last week, Grover put out that information about that loan program, and so you can watch that and learn what they're offering for that. I don't know if they launched the application yet, but they have a $350,000 loan fund that they got all the criteria out there that you need to be able to take advantage of that. But I will tell everybody honestly, that if you learn how to pitch your idea clearly and concisely, and you have a scalable business idea, you can actually get the funding you need to kind of to move forward. And that's what we're trying to do is make sure you know that. All righty, so we look forward to we thank everybody for joining in and asking the great questions.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we definitely appreciate you agreeing to come on a short notice. I think we're going to have Sabrina Simpson in the near future. She's going to come on and share what she's got going on, and we have several folks that can share some good information. We met several people at the conference we're going to bring on. So we appreciate you all, and get out there and work on those business models and sign up for our training and get the help you need to move forward. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.
All righty.